Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and in this video I'd like to show you two things. Number one, how to blue a barrel, and I also want to show a junk cattleman 25 caliber barrel. You won't believe it when you see it. I almost didn't believe it until I experienced it. But this is the main reason why cattleman guns, is one of the main reasons why cattleman guns is junk. So don't forget to have your Trump coffee. Pause before you get started, because you're just not going to get nothing out of this if you ain't got your Trump coffee. Anyway, we'll get started and I'll show you what all we need and how I go about bluing stuff, and you'll see the difference. Alright, so what I've got here is two Defender barrels that I just made, and this one was out of a good barrel. As you can see, the hole was centered on both of those. Now before we blue those, let me show you this cattleman barrel. Can you see what's wrong with that barrel? This side here, this wall, is thicker than this wall. And I'll show you about how much it's off. So we're going to put our caliper on there, and as you can see, it's 4.61 millimeters on that side. Now let's go to the other side. 3.78. That's a millimeter off. Yeah, almost a millimeter off. Wow. And it's not that way on both sides. It's a little less. So that's 390 on that side and 463 on that side. So I don't know who is machining this stuff, but I think they need to go to a class and learn how to turn a barrel and drill it, because that's just pitiful. I'd be ashamed of myself. So these two barrels can't be used because this one came out of the same one that this came out of, and neither one of these can be used. And I didn't find that out until I had got finished with it and put it in the lathe and put a center on this side so I could turn it while I sand it, and this thing was just flopping. I'm like, well, wait a minute, that thing's centered, it's supposed to be, but it's not. It's not even, the hole's not even centered. So these barrels are worthless. So I was hoping to have two sets for you guys, but it ain't going to work out like that. These are the only set that I'll have, and I'll be putting that on my site for sale. And it's first come, first serve. I'm not going to hold for nobody. I hate to be that way, but the first person who sees it that wants it buys it, and that's the way it has to be. And no, I will not ship outside the US. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but I'm not going to, because number one, it's a lot of hassle, and if I have to say that it's something else and lie about what's in the package because I can't send it to another country, then I'm doing something wrong. So I hate to be that way, but I'm just not going to send anything out of the US. If you've got a US friend, that'll be fine. I can deal with that. I'm not doing nothing wrong. But anyway, so let's get started. what we're using here is super blue, cold blue. And you can do this two different ways. You can actually take a torch and heat this and blue it, and that'll work too. It'll be a different look, but because you'll have some kind of little purple in it. But I like using this. It works fine for me. I've never had any issues with it. Then after we get done with it, we got a bottle of oil here that we will oil it with. And then I got 3 cotton balls. And the first thing that I'm going to do with these are I'm going to wash them in hot water with Dawn dishwashing liquid. Alright, so now I have cleaned them off. With Dawn dishwashing liquid. And you want to make sure you clean your hands too, because the oil in your hands will cause you a problem too. So now we'll turn a little bit more light on the situation here, if that helps. And I'll shake this up. And then we will saturate this until you feel the bluing hitting your other fingers. See where it's coming through? And then we will start bluing it. And it makes a big difference when you do use that Dawn dishwashing liquid with hot water. Now we'll probably do this 2 times. Very seldom do I have to do it 3 times, but just depends on how much oil you got off of it. And you go on the end of it there and do the end. Then you do the other end. And then you got to do the threads, and you just kind of push on it so that the blue will squish out of the cotton ball and down into the threads. Because all it has to do is come out and touch. So we'll just keep on doing this and get it good and covered. And then we'll set this one aside. You want that to work for a little bit before you put it in the water. And you'll want to put it in cold water. Once you're done, not hot water. Alright, that one looks good. Now the first one that you did while you was doing the other one that you set aside, now you can put that one in the water. And I don't know why I dried my hands. And then we just take the water and just clean it. And basically all that water does is it stops the bluing process. It's like, whoa, Nelly, that'll be enough of that. And that one looks really good. But as you can see, it's got a little bit of blotching going on. Like right in here, it's a little light. Maybe right there in that one spot. So what we'll do is we'll dry this off with a really clean towel. So we'll just use a paper towel because they absorb pretty good. Actually, it looks good without having to do a second one. But we're going to do it twice. So now that we've got this cleaned off and we've had that other one sitting for a little long enough time, we'll go ahead and clean it off too with the water, cold water, and stop that bluing process. And then we'll dry it off. Alright, so now we're going to throw this one away. And we're going to get us a fresh cotton ball. And we're going to do this all over again. And we'll rinse it again. And while we're drying this one, we'll let the other one sit there and do a little solidifying, I guess is what you call it, bluing. Alright, there's one. And then we'll stop the rust process on the other one. As you can see, this one here is getting to where it looks dull and powder coated looking look to it. That's going to change. So now what we'll do is take our oil with our last, actually we don't even need to use a cotton ball. You just kind of put a little bit of oil on it. And you just put it in with your hand. Now this will seal the deal, so to speak. And the longer it sits there with the oil on it, the better it looks. Then you take and dry your hands. Get all that oil off your hands. And then you're going to wipe them again with dry hands. And then we'll do that again. You just want a little bit of oil on it. You don't want to saturate it and make it look all nasty. And then you just wipe it down again. Now there is a thin coat of oil on it. Now if you remember, I've done these for my son. These are mic extensions. And these look exactly like that. And the longer they set, the better they look. So it just takes some time to do it. Now I'll probably saturate these with WD-40 when I send them to you. You'll have to wipe them down. But there's how you blue a barrel. So there you have 2 Defender barrels that, hold on, I'll go get the thing. This is the cylinder that goes into your Defender. And they screw right in. .25 caliber barrels. They will be listed before the night's out. So if you guys are interested in this set, until I can get another set of barrels or another barrel, I thought I was going to have 2 sets, but this year turned out to be off-center. So I can't sell something like that. I care more about my customers than that. The reason why I couldn't sell these like this is for one reason and one reason only. They will never be accurate. They might be accurate the first time you shoot, and you take this off of your cylinder. When you screw it back on, it's not going to be in the same location, because then the hole might be on one other side. So if you've gotten used to shooting it with the first shot, of course we're only talking a 2-shot here, but I'm not going to sell something like that. I can't do that to my customers. So anyway, I hope you guys learned something out of that on how to blue your barrels. That's the way I blew all my barrels, and well, anything for that matter. So don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.